Welcome to Gray Matter Reports. Today we decode the complex reality of events that unfold around us. Beneath the sterile glow of fluorescent lights, the mind unfolds like a complex blueprint, mapping the intricate pathways of emotion and manipulation. Each synapse, a flicker of intent. Each thought, a calculated move in a game of psychological chess. Here lies the paradox of empathy, where the very fabric of human connection becomes the instrument of control. Imagine a subject, let's call him Marcus, sitting across from a clinical observer. His eyes gleam with a polished veneer of charm, yet the subtle twitch of his smile betrays an underlying calculation. In this sterile room, the air is thick with tension, a palpable reminder of the emotional warfare that brews beneath the surface. Marcus knows how to listen, how to reflect emotions back at others like a mirror held up to their vulnerabilities. Yet, this reflection is not born of genuine understanding. It is a weapon, honed to exploit the weaknesses of those around him. Empathy, in Marcus's world, morphs into a tool for manipulation. It is a double-edged sword, able to both connect and sever, to build trust and dismantle it with equal ease. The observer watches, taking notes, dissecting the clinical nuances of this emotional facade. Each interaction becomes a data point, each response a thread in the tapestry of manipulation. Here, in the quiet chaos of the mind, lies a truth that chills the soul. Empathy can be weaponized. As the observer leans in, the conversation drifts toward childhood memories. Marcus recalls tales of loneliness, of feeling different. A story woven with threads of authenticity, yet punctuated by the sterile detachment of an antisocial profile. The observer recognizes the telltale signs. A slight tilt of the head, an exaggerated sigh, a pause just long enough to instill doubt. It's a performance, crafted to elicit sympathy and draw the observer closer, but the intent is starkly different. In this clinical dissection of human behavior, empathy becomes a paradoxical force. It serves as both a bridge and a chasm. The observer notes the complexity of Marcus's emotional landscape, its beauty intertwined with its treachery. Each revelation is a reminder of the thin line between connection and exploitation. This is not just a study of one individual, it is a glimpse into a broader reality. The mind's capacity for empathy, when perverted by manipulation, reveals the darker recesses of human nature. Here, in the shadows, we confront an unsettling question. Can we ever truly know another's heart, or are we forever left to navigate the labyrinth of our own perceptions? The answer may lie deeper within, waiting to be unearthed. The room was dimly lit, shadows dancing across the walls as the flickering fluorescent light struggled to hold back the encroaching darkness. A single desk, scarred and worn, occupied the center, surrounded by the remnants of a disordered mind. Papers lay strewn about, each a testament to the intricate web of manipulation spun by the subject under scrutiny. In the corner, a small plant, unremarkable yet oddly symbolic, thrived despite the neglect. Its leaves, vibrant and green, reached toward the light as if grasping for understanding, mirroring the very nature of empathy that had been distorted in the individual being examined. This was not just a case of antisocial behavior. It was a labyrinthine exploration of the psyche. The subject, a man of unassuming appearance, sat across from the investigator. His eyes, devoid of warmth, flickered with an unsettling intelligence. In his presence, one could almost feel the weight of unspoken truths. The investigator took a breath, steadying himself against the chill that hung thick in the air, an invisible fog of tension. What lay beneath the surface was a complexity that both fascinated and repulsed. The mind of the manipulator, often romanticized in fiction, was a stark reality here. It was a mechanism, finely tuned, yet grotesquely misaligned. The individual displayed an uncanny ability to mimic emotions, a chameleon in a world of color. Yet, the empathy he produced was hollow, a mere echo of genuine connection. Clinical studies had shown that such individuals often possess an acute understanding of social cues, like a predator sensing vulnerability. This was no different. The subject's laughter, though charming, was a calculated instrument, wielded to disarm and deceive. The investigator noted this, a flicker of recognition igniting within him. How easily the lines blurred between charisma and manipulation. The room felt charged, each word exchanged a step deeper into the abyss. The investigator probed, seeking the roots of this behavioral anomaly. What had sown the seeds of such intricate deceit? Each question seemed to unravel a bit more of the tapestry, revealing the stark contrast between the subject's projected image and his internal void. Outside, the world continued its mundane rhythm, blissfully unaware of the darkness it harbored. The investigator tightened his grip on the pen, the scratching sound a stark reminder of the reality that lay before him. This was not merely a case, it was an exploration of the paradox of empathy. Here, the soul was a battleground, a conflict between the desire for connection and the insatiable hunger for control. As the shadows deepened, the investigator leaned closer, determined to plant the mystery seed within this complex narrative. What had led to the formation of this antisocial profile? The answers lay dormant, waiting for the right question to awaken them. Empathy, a bridge between souls, often reveals itself as a double-edged sword. Consider the manipulator. They wield this tool with precision, crafting emotional landscapes that ensnare and deceive. In their hands, empathy morphs into a weapon of influence, a chameleon capable of changing color to suit their needs. Imagine a chess player, their pieces moving with calculated grace. Each move is deliberate, each emotion a pawn sacrificed for strategic gain. They study their opponents closely, discerning vulnerabilities like a predator assessing its prey. This is not mere observation. It is a clinical dissection of human frailty. Why do we respond so readily to those who feign connection? The answer lies in our biological wiring. Humans are social creatures, instinctively drawn to empathy as a survival mechanism. We yearn for understanding, for a mirror reflecting our own emotions. Yet what happens when that reflection is distorted? It's a paradox, isn't it? We crave authenticity, yet we are seduced by artifice. Consider the moments when you felt a profound connection with someone, the warmth of shared laughter, the comfort of a listening ear. Now contrast that with the chilling realization that such intimacy can be manufactured. The manipulator grips this dichotomy tightly, crafting narratives that resonate deeply, while remaining utterly devoid of genuine feeling. They inhabit the emotional realm, but as specters, never truly alive within it. What drives this behavior? A complex interplay of psychological factors. Some individuals may possess an antisocial profile, where empathy is not a bridge but a mirage. They navigate the emotional terrain not with the intent to connect, but to control. It's a masterclass in psychological manipulation, one that can leave even the most astute observers questioning their own perceptions. In this psychological landscape, the question arises, can one truly empathize without a soul? Can the manipulator, cloaked in emotional resonance, ever feel the weight of their own actions? The answer is as elusive as the bridge they construct. It beckons us to traverse it, even as it threatens to crumble beneath our feet. As we peel back the layers, we uncover a haunting truth. The manipulator thrives on the paradox of empathy. They are both the architect and the destroyer, crafting connections only to sever them, leaving behind a trail of confusion and disillusionment. This is the essence of the psychological bridge, a pathway fraught with peril, where the heart and mind collide in a dance of shadows. The room was sterile, a clinical tableau where minds intertwine. Here, two worlds collided, the empirical and the emotional. It began with the data, neural imaging revealing patterns that danced in stark contrast to normative behavior. The subject's brain, a labyrinth of contradictions, illuminated areas associated with empathy alongside those linked to manipulation. This juxtaposition raised questions that lingered like ghosts in the air. As the analysis unfolded, behavioral theories emerged like specters. Theories of psychopathy suggested a chilling detachment. The subject exhibited a severe lack of emotional resonance, yet possessed an uncanny ability to mimic the emotions of others. This mimicry served a singular purpose: control. The neural pathways aligned with the mirror neurons typically associated with empathy sparked a chilling realization. They were not absent, instead they were weaponized. The forensic analysis delved deeper. Biological evidence collected meticulously showcased a peculiar cocktail of neurotransmitters, dopamine and serotonin, interacting in discord. Elevated dopamine levels indicated a reward-seeking behavior, while erratic serotonin levels hinted at emotional dysregulation. The subject thrived in chaos, feeding off the responses elicited from others. This was not mere malice, it was a calculated strategy, a dance of shadows and light. Next came attachment theory, illuminating the subject's early life influences. Childhood environments steeped in unpredictability fostered a detachment from authentic emotional bonds. The subject learned early on that vulnerability was a liability, a lesson etched into the very fabric of their being. Relationships became transactions, emotions mere tools in the pursuit of power. Cognitive behavioral theory offered yet another lens. The subject's thought patterns were riddled with distortions. They perceived the world through a lens of exploitation. Every interaction was a chess match, each person a pawn. The lack of empathy was not a void. It was an arsenal, honed through experience and reinforced by a warped self-image. In this deep dive, the paradox of empathy emerged vividly. The ability to understand and influence others became a double-edged sword. The subject's mind, a conundrum, displayed the capacity for connection, yet chose manipulation over authenticity. An unsettling truth surfaced: the more one understands human emotions, the more potent the weapon they wielded could become. This intricate tapestry of psychological theories painted a portrait of the manipulator, revealing layers of complexity. Beneath the clinical observations lay an unsettling reality. The mind that could empathize was also the mind that could deceive. As the analysis concluded, the haunting question lingered. In the pursuit of connection, how often does one lose sight of their own humanity? In every bustling city, a silent theater unfolds. The streets teem with individuals, each cloaked in the intricate fabric of social masks. These masks, artfully designed, serve a dual purpose: protection and deception. As humans navigate their daily lives, they engage in a delicate dance of empathy and manipulation, often unaware of the psychological theater in which they partake. The paradox of empathy emerges in this complex interplay. Individuals, driven by their innate desire for connection, may find themselves adopting roles that obscure their true selves. Behind each smile, there often lies an agenda. The manipulator is not always the villain. Sometimes they are the unintended architect of emotional landscapes, drawing others into their carefully crafted narratives. This phenomenon reveals the inherent struggle within human relationships, an oscillation between genuine connection and calculated distance. Consider the individual who dons a mask of compassion. They listen intently, nodding at the right moments, their eyes reflecting understanding. Yet beneath this veneer, a different motive may simmer, a need to extract emotional currency. This desire can warp the very essence of empathy into a transactional exchange. The act of listening becomes a strategic maneuver, a well-practiced art rather than an honest offering of oneself. In a global context, the implications of this dynamic ripple outward. Societies become playgrounds for both authentic and artificial connections. Communication technologies amplify this effect, enabling individuals to curate their identities with unparalleled precision. The curated self becomes a brand, while the true self languishes in obscurity. We live in an era where the line between genuine empathy and manipulation blurs, creating a social fabric thick with ambiguity. The mask we wear is not merely a shield, it can also become a prison. The facade of empathy can isolate us from our own feelings. When one is perpetually playing a role, the risk of emotional disconnection rises. Individuals may struggle to forge real bonds, fearing that their true selves may not be accepted. This fear becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, as the very act of hiding breeds loneliness. Moreover, the global perspective on empathy reveals troubling patterns. Cultures may emphasize different manifestations of empathy, leading to misunderstandings. In some societies, overt emotional expression is valued, while in others, restraint is the norm. These cultural variances complicate the already intricate web of human interaction, as individuals navigate their masks and the expectations they carry. As the world spins on, we must confront this paradox. The mask we wear can be both a tool of connection and a barrier to authenticity. Recognizing our own motivations as well as those of others is essential. Only then can we begin to peel away the layers of deception and seek genuine understanding in a landscape fraught with manipulation. The evidence lay meticulously arranged, each piece an echo of a fragmented mind. The final verdict loomed, a dense fog of uncertainty lifting as clarity seeped in. In the labyrinth of human psyche, the paradox of empathy emerged, revealing the intricate dance of manipulation. A detailed analysis of biological evidence had unraveled the threads of deception. The subject, a master of emotional masquerade, had woven a facade so intricate that even seasoned professionals had struggled to disentangle truth from illusion. Psychological profiles indicated traits of an antisocial nature, yet beneath the surface lay a complexity that defied simple categorization. Empathy, typically a bridge to connection, had become a weapon in the subject's hands. It was as if they were a puppeteer, expertly pulling at the strings of human emotion. The allure of their charm was intoxicating, drawing others into a web spun from vulnerability and trust. But this was not mere social skill. It was calculated manipulation, a performance designed to extract the most profound responses from those around them. The case conclusion was more than just a summation of findings. It was a reminder of the fragility of human connection. The subject had thrived in environments where empathy was not just a trait, but a currency. Each interaction was a transaction, each moment an opportunity to exploit the emotional landscape of others. In dissecting their actions, a chilling realization dawned. The very qualities that made them relatable were the same ones that rendered them dangerous. As the data coalesced, the implications became stark. A society driven by empathy could easily fall prey to those who wield it as a tool for manipulation. The lines between genuine connection and calculated deceit blurred, revealing a landscape fraught with peril. The true cost of empathy, it seemed, was the potential for exploitation, an irony that haunted the corridors of human interaction. In the aftermath, the team at Gray Matter Reports was left grappling with the reality of their findings. The subject had become a case study, a cautionary tale of what lies beneath the surface of seemingly benign relationships. The mystery had been solved, but the questions lingered. How does one navigate a world where empathy can be both a balm and a weapon? As the final verdict settled, a call to action emerged. Understanding the mechanisms of manipulation was not just a matter of academic interest. It was essential for safeguarding against emotional exploitation. To dissect the mind of the manipulator was to illuminate the shadows that lurked within human interaction. Join us in this exploration of the human condition. Subscribe for deeper insights as we continue to unravel the complexities of the mind. Each story is a journey, and we invite you to walk this path with us.